Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to another Age of Mythology, the Titans or Retold video. It's been a long time since I posted a video, and Age of Mythology has been rebranded, many things have happened, and yeah, so we're in Retold. So as you can see, the graphics look sick. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm not going to focus on what new changes are bringing into Retold. If you didn't know, Retold has released a beta that you can play in this weekend. So if you purchase the game, and many content creators are doing a lot of stuff on Retold. What I want to focus now is a bit on the Atlanteans. If you didn't know, the Atlanteans are not accessible in this beta. So I have the tech tree here, and I'm able to see some things on the Atlanteans, and I'm going to try to analyze it and speculate on what might happen to them. Now, as we know, a beta isn't the final product and many things can change, but it's interesting to see the directions that the studio is going to take on the Atlanteans. So, let's dive right into it. Now, first we can see the new portraits. So, as we can see, we have the new portrait of Kronos, which isn't loading for some reasons. But anyway, we can see that, yeah, it's loaded now. So we can see his portrait looks very, very, very appealing. Now, he doesn't have his lava anymore. At least his lava has changed color if he still has it. And yeah, he looks very badass. So let's dive right into the changes. So if you didn't know, each god used to have its own unique improvement. For example, Zeus has Olympic Parentage, which increases the HP of the heroes, and there's some changes affecting it. With Kronos, he used to have the improvement Focus. Focus increased the speed at which the line of sight of oracles used to grow. It wasn't the most exciting of improvements. It was cheap. It was basically like nothing. You could research it every game, but it hadn't the biggest impact. Now, its unique improvement has changed a lot. So now it's called Temporal Chaos. It costs a lot, so it isn't the cheapest improvement. But what it does is interesting. So it increases the number of buildings that can be simultaneously time shifted and reduces the cost of time shifting defensive buildings. So that is very interesting. I always wanted something like this to happen to Kronos. Kronos is one of my favorite gods, by the way, and I thought he was a bit weak. So this improvement makes me a little bit more excited to play him because Kronos should be a time moving god. You should be able like to move entire cities if you want, but in the old time you could only move one building, and sometimes it take like about a minute or more to move a palace. So this improvement is very welcome. So you can move now three buildings at the same time. I think it's three, so adds two should mean that you can move three. And defensive buildings are now cheaper to time shift, which is going to open a lot of possibilities and is very interesting and refreshing to see. Now we can see also the minor god portraits have changed, which some of them are interesting to say the least. So I like the Prometheus, even though it's a bit spooky. They've also added unique improvement to Prometheus. So we still have alluvial clay, which improves Prometheans. We still have Hearts of the Titans, which which is very interesting. It reduces the times required to promote your human hero units to heroes. It used to reduce the cost of the heroes, but now the time required. So now do heroes take time to convert? Is that what does it mean? So now heroes take time to convert, which is really strange. Yeah. Also, they added a unique improvement, so Prometheus didn't used to have this improvement. So, Theft of Fire. So, it increases the rate at which hero citizens gather resources and construct buildings. Now, it may seem a bit OP plus 20%. I think these values are placeholder, and if they aren't, it only improves hero citizens. As you may know, researching hero citizens is very expensive, and there wasn't a lot of uses for it. We usually got the three valor charges, so still convert to heroes for now. Oh, and it heals the unit. It didn't used to do that. So yeah, that's very interesting. So as we can see, Yeah, so it isn't very OP because hero citizens are very expensive. You used to only get them with Valor, and in the late game when you wanted to do some side builds or use them as a tank because they benefit from armor improvements. But yeah, this improvement may push you to heroize your citizens a bit more. So let's see Leto if now Prometheus is a very good god, but I'm a bit disappointed that Heart of the Titans now doesn't reduce the cost of heroes because it used to be very interesting that it did used to do that. Now I don't know if that is useful because like how much time could a hero take to train? Like if you need 10 seconds to convert a hero Murmillo, it better be good. So yeah, I'm on the fence of this new mechanics like heroes takes time to train, and, but at least it's cheaper than it used to. This improvement, it's half the cost. So yeah, we'll see if it's useful and what are the mechanics later. So Leto, they changed her description, so she used to be only Titaness of Stealth, but now it's Motherhood also. I don't know, by the way, the full like philosophy of the heroes and what they do, so I'm a bit ignorant, especially on the Titans. So Spider Lair, oh, so it's still the same as before. Valor now heals. Automaton are the same nearly. So Hephaestus Revenge is improved also automatons. I don't know if it used to be called like this. Anyway, Volcanic Forge. So it improves the armor of automatons, soldiers. So yeah, it's the same. It's the same as before. But now Leto has one more improvement, which I think is a bit useless. But yeah, now your oracles and hero oracles basically can see more. So yeah, it's basically focus. Maybe they gather favor faster. We'll see a bit later what has changed in the favor mechanism because the favor mechanism of Atlanteans has changed. Also, we have Hyperion. So these improvements haven't really changed. Chaos still does what it does, but they have added two new improvements. So I like this one. I think it's a bit late in the heroic age to have it, but Hyperion converts all oracles to heroes, and newly trained oracles are also heroes. So that was a buff that was suggested to Atlanteans in Vubli. So Atlanteans used to be other than Oranos, used to be a bit weak. So one buff suggestion was to train oracles as heroes. So this improvement basically does it. So oracles are trained normally as heroes, which if you didn't know, oracles didn't attack before they become heroes, so they were a bit useless except for scouting. Now you could use them as units, and the Atlanteans have a problem with heroes, especially in the late game. Because heroes become more expensive, you don't have the valor charges anymore. So if you could train heroes, so Heroes Oracle, it would be cheaper than train an Oracle and then convert it. So it might solve the problem of lack of heroes for Atlanteans, which is very interesting. These changes are really interesting. Pioneer of the Skies. So it's improving siege BRAMs. Not the most exciting of improvements, but it's an improvement nonetheless. So siege BRAMs. Retold, I think I'm not able to confirm it, but I think you could train the three ships in the classical age. But it's a heroic age improvement, so it doesn't really matter this much. But yeah, it's an improvement. So Rhea, her portrait also changed. So Traitor is still the same. We'll see if in Vubli and I think the Titans also extended edition, Traitor used to decrease the HP of the unit. Let's see if it still does this. So Horns of Consecration. So now, if you don't know, we'll come back to it, but favor generation has changed. So it isn't town centers that generate favor anymore. But what this improvement seems to do, it's that it enables the auto gather favor of town centers. So it come back to the new mechanism, to the old mechanism, I mean. So this is very interesting. So yeah, now town centers don't generate favor for Atlanteans. We'll see a bit what does. So this Orichalcum male is still the same. and only for Arcus. Hack armor for Arcus and Pierce armor for Therma. I think did. It depends on the version, but I think it's originally did only hack armor for archers, for all archers. So now it seems a bit strange that they did it, but whatever. Rhea gift. It used to be the most useless improvement in the whole game. So what it was 175 wood and gold, and basically it decreased the cost of favor of some improvements. But by the time you got it, and it wasn't really useful. The Atlantean researches are not something that are very useful. But now the favor is removed at all, and but why Secret of the Titans is more expensive? It should be a bug. I don't think it's supposed to do that, or else you won't research it. So yeah, I think it should be a minus 100%, which could be huge because Atlanteans have a favor problem. So now it's a bit more useful. Yeah. Dactyloi. So basically, it makes your dock heal ships, which is a mechanism in other Age of Empires game. Which is, I guess, cool. So now we have Helios. He's riding 2 horses. So the Hika Gigantes names changed to Centimanus. It's still the same thing, I think. We'll see the stats later. We still have the Mirror Tower, which are pretty cheap. I don't know if they have the same stats, we'll see, but man, it's very cheap now. It used to be much more expensive. We still have Halo of the Sun, which is... it only increases the range. So... because before Fire Siphons, it used to increase the attack of Fire Siphons. So that's interesting. So this is the same... I don't know what petrification bonus means. So we'll have to seize it. But... yeah, so basically what it's saying is your siege weapon stands still. It has an extra hack armor. So if they're moving, do they lose it? So we'll have to see. This is an interesting mechanism. And this is an improvement for your Hika Gigantes, which makes them attack. It improves their attack. So they were usually a glass cannon. They had a high attack but were squishy. Now they have even more attacks. So I don't know if they could take a town center alone. Yeah. And we have Atlas. By the way, there is a way to cast Implode in the game. You have to write the cheese, Pandora's box. And you can cast an Implode and it is very OP. Spoiler alert, it is very OP. We have the Argus, which it looks like some kind of alien now. Yeah. It's from the game Plant and Zombies. Yeah. Devotees of Atlas. So this is an interesting improvement. So it makes like fanatics, when they lose HP, they become faster, which I don't know if it's useful, but it's a nice mechanism. I actually like this. Because the improvement of Atlas, if you don't know, they used to suck. So there was one that increased the line of sight of miss units, which for the Mythic Age you have the whole map scouted. Like, yeah. So now it's a bit more interesting. Titan's shield used to increase the shield of it increases the pierce, not the pierce, the hack armor and the crush armor of your buildings. Now it's a destroyer upgrade, which is interesting. Because Destroyer don't have a problem with pierce attacks, so like now basically they have 99% pierce armor. So yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, that's all for Kronos. Let's now go to Oranos, so we'll be a bit faster this time. So Shockwave and Safe Passage haven't really changed. So it changed a bit so by increasing the carrying capacity of Sky Passage, so now they don't attack anymore, or I don't know if they have an embedded attack. But now you can garrison 20 more units. So yeah, it's a cool change, I guess. Shockwave still does the same. We've already seen Prometheus. Now Oceanus is kinda interesting. So Carnivoria's is still the same, but Caladria now heals units and slow enemy units. So they don't attack, but now slow them, which is interesting because yeah, Oceanus was one of the weakest gods in the game, if not the weakest. Actually, it should be factually the weakest. So improving Caladria is a nice change for it because he doesn't really have a miss unit. So Caladria used to do nothing apart from healing, and even its healing was a bit funky. Now, slowing down enemies can be very interesting. I'm glad it doesn't attack because that would be OP, but yeah. Bite of the Shark has become cheaper, which is about time. Which it used to be a very expensive upgrade. It wasn't easy to get, and it took a long time to research. It still takes a lot of time to research. It's 40 seconds, but now it's cheaper, so at least there's that. Weightless mace, it's still the same, and we have a new improvement. So now Oceanus is the god that decreases the cost of promoting heroes. That is very interesting. That is an interesting change, and I quite like it because Oceanus is one of these weak gods. So if he has the OP tech, like I wouldn't mind that a lot. So yeah, I can get behind it. So now we have Sia. The power didn't change. So yeah, now let's go to the mechanics. So Atlanteans don't generate favor by holding town centers now. They need to have Oracle standing still to generate favor, which is, I guess, cool. Like I I know that generating favor with town center was kind of considered cheap and not very innovative of a change. It was so unimaginative. So now having a new mechanism with oracles, I guess that's cool. That makes Atlantean a bit micro more to have oracles standing. So yeah, this increases the rate of favor, which now you have Rhea with the old way of generating favor and Thea with improving the new way. So you have both choices if you want. Poseidon's secrets is still the same. Lance of Stone. It doesn't improve the attack to buildings anymore, so it's an improvement of attack directly. Range. Uh, I don't know if melee attacks have range now, so that could be kind of interesting. Daughters of the Sea. Wait, Nereids aren't for Hyperion? I don't know now if naval miss units are for all the civs because yeah, that's kind of interesting. So Nereids aren't Hyperion exclusive now. Yeah, I guess I don't see water miss units, so that could be it. So for Hecate, nothing really changed. What the? Hecate allows them PDs to transform enemy units into chickens? What the fuck? I don't know if it's a troll, if it's a placeholder, if it's something to be worried about. I think they have a trolling here. Like, I really want to see this in the real game, but yeah, yeah, that's a change. Uh, yeah, yeah, so it's nearly the same thing. Gaia, we still have channels, so yeah, nothing really changed for Gaia. And finally, we have this treasury section, which shows a bit more information about the whole game. So now we can learn a bit more about favor. So Atlanteans now earn favor by stationing oracles around the map. Which, yeah, it's a new mechanism. We already discussed about it. So there's that. Also, one thing I've noticed is that mirror towers are freakingly OP. So I don't know if they'll stay this way, but yeah, if they have these stats, I'm a bit worried. Except if the whole balance of the game changes. I don't know what is happening to the game. I played only one game, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, with stats like this, it's pretty OP to me. Compare it to military barracks. Yeah, normal towers used to have 500 HP, 550, something like this. Can I find a sentry tower? 750. Yeah, I don't know. They seem OP to me. Another thing I've noticed is that so there used to be an extra population cost to heroes. Now they cost the same population. So an Arcus and a hero Arcus cost the same population. Now the difference in stats isn't really that noticeable. It I don't know if it used to be a 10% difference or 15%, but anyways, it's still the same thing. So if there's now a penalty of waiting time to convert heroes, I don't know if it's really worth it. So we'll have to wait and see. As I'm telling you, it's a beta, so many things may change. Also, we notice that if we go down to villagers, so and if we go down, finally we can see the changes for Atlantean citizens. So now they are cheaper. So they used to be around 125 food and 25 wood. Now it's 85. So the total is about 100 resources. So it's 2 times more expensive as a villager. And now it's 2 populations. So as we can see, Atlantean villagers have kind of been nerfed. So I don't know if they still gather street. It's surely not. I think my guess is that they gather around 1.85 times more efficient than a villager, because they used to gather 2.5 times more efficient than a villager and it costs 3 population. So in a way it's a buff, but in another way it removes kind of the aspect of Atlanteans being a beginners friendly civilization, because you have to control more villagers. Now it also implies that Atlanteans, they used to become less efficient in the late game. They used to become much weaker. Now they will become less weaker in the late game. They can kind of compete in the late game, and they still do not drop off the resources. So they're still kind of beginner friendly in a way, but yeah, they did an improvement that Boyd was wanting in one of his patches. So yeah, that's an interesting change. That's very interesting. And hero citizens, they still cost 2 populations, so it's kind of like in the extended editions, they don't increase population. So yeah, we and also with the Prometheus improvement, it could be interesting what can happen. So yeah, that's basically all I've found that is interesting, and this video is already long enough. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll do some more content around this beta. But I wanted to do this video, I think it's a bit unique and not many people have tackled the possibilities of the Atlanteans. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. I'm very excited. Goodbye.